Hi everybody, welcome back, and we're just going to take a few moments here to offer some comments on things to look for in Urashi Bo that may be distinctive from what you find in the other katas. Again, as I've said previously, each form has certain lessons in it that vary from the lessons that you acquire in the other forms, and certain skills that you can perfect by working that form only. Okay, so if Steve, the cameraman, will come over here, get a better view of this. To position yourself there. All the forms start out essentially the same. Okay, now within Urashi Bo, there's a distinctive 9-beat pattern that appears throughout the execution of the kata. So I'm just going to let you see what that 9-beat pattern looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what you have is these reverse downward strikes and these angular strikes from different planes of motion. And you're covering the whole range of height, from short, mid-range to high. And you're not doing it in that fashion elsewhere. In Boshishi, you're doing the Boshishi pattern. In Tokumini, you're doing the Tokumini pattern. And you can see how they become more complex. The 9-beat pattern takes a lot of physical strength and stamina, and you actually learn how to perfect your motion and control of the bow doing that repeatedly as you do in the form. So that's the first thing to bear in mind. Second thing is the form itself has many stop and reverse hand grips, which don't necessarily exist to the same extent in the other forms. So as you execute from the very beginning, you've got these crisscross lateral moves, hand switch, hand switch, 9-beat pattern, hand switch, 9-beat pattern. Let's go to the other side, hand switch, 9-beat pattern, okay, and so forth. Those are something that you have to master. When you learn to use the bow, you need to be able to switch hands at will so that you can take different postures and go to different directions as quickly as you want to do it. And it's in this form that you really hammer those skills out. Okay, so within the context of the form, you've got so this is right here. You got the vertical blocks and the vertical positions. These are unique to this form too. You have somebody coming at you from the side, outside in. It could be a kick or an arm or even a weapon. You do a quick deflection and then you drop down. And then you have the quick drop down, which is an overhead move, followed by the lateral moves. And everything about the bow is you strike in one plane, then you strike at an angular plane so that the person's not expecting the same thing in the same plane several times over. So you have several positions in the form where you're here or here, vertical block, lateral block, followed by a drop down move and a crossing in hit. Drop down, cross in, which is something you want to get built into your style anyway. Drop down, cross in, angle change. And that shows up everywhere here. Then, this first pattern with the 9 beats, and we're going to get to right here, 9 beats. Basically repeats, the 9 beats repeat 4 times in the first cycle through the form. So after we do those 4 repetitions, we're going into phase 2 of the kata, which has what we call the bell ringer motion. And the bell ringer motion is this. And this is really the only place in the forms that you have it, but the bell ringer motion is of crucial importance for developing power. So I'm going to talk about that just momentarily. Come a little bit closer, sir. The bell ringer means that you have to picture yourself at a temple in Asia, perhaps a Buddhist temple in Japan, where you see images of that on TV. And it'll be a giant bell. There'll be a beam of wood suspended by ropes in front of the bell, and when the guy comes up to ring the bell, he does this, and you get the sound of the bell, okay? But the bell ringing motion in the martial arts looks exactly like that, but there's a few techniques that you have to be aware of so that you perfect this. You're here, somebody comes, your body leads, and that's the engine. It's like drawing a bow back, and then you fire. And then your body leads, it's like coiling that spring, and then you fire. And as you fire, the spring relaxes. Now you should actually do this in slow motion until you understand it. Now, generally, the bell ringer goes from a down to an up position like a piston. What's interesting about Urashi Bo is that it takes you to the second level of execution of that technique. It's doing it high. And basically, the concept here is if you can do it high, you can do it low. But if you can do it low without practicing high, you can't necessarily do it high. It sort of works like that. Okay, so you're here, you do the basic tokamini block, the bell ringer, strike at an angle, come about, roof block, all of these have been in the other copies. Here, and you do this twirl. Up. Let's take a look at that. Twirl onto your shoulder. Okay, this is a ready to strike position. You're checking all angles. 1, 2, and then you go low to avoid the incoming attack, and go high strike afterwards. It comes with this left side. You reverse it, take it down, go down. If it came at you with the left hand or with the left foot, you basically be coiling under it like a cobra, and then clearing for the execution again of the 9-beat pair. Okay, the ending's pretty straightforward. You block, cat stance, thrust, thrust, overhead, and angle. And again, it's the change of lateral positions that are emphasized and the change of angles as you're executing, which are relatively distinct to this form. Okay, so in summary, we've gone and visited all 3 forms out of the Okinawan Ishin-Ryu system, and also out of other systems, and giving you some good detail on those for you to explore and research in your own practice. When you take those, and if you make this a path of self-discovery, you will find many things hidden within them that can become a permanent part of your own technique. As far as these go, each and every one of them stands independently as far as skill levels and also level of expertise. You can master any one of these and essentially have the technique of a master. Okay, thanks for visiting once again, and we'll see you down the line. Stay good.